So welcome. I'm pretty excited because we're starting to see a lot of action over in the EOSIO space, and as you guys know, we're trying to do these kind of spotlights and features over here in the GenerEOS channel, and showcase what people are doing. And I think this is the first one that we've ever actually done for FIO, and we've got Ross Dold from EOSphere and Sharif from eosDublin. Who have been working with two other block producers, I think EOS Barcelona and EOS Amsterdam, right? And you guys have basically built this beta kind of page for people to be able to interact and do things with the FIO blockchain, which is really exciting. And you're going to introduce it and you're going to walk it through. So yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm really excited to sit down with you guys and figure out why and how it all works.
Yeah, thanks for having us on again, Jimmy. We've only just recently launched the beta site for the HeyFIO platform, and we'll talk through that. But maybe I'll just give an update on who I am, right? So I'm the co-founder of EOSphere, which is an Australian-based block producer across many of the EOSIO, well, EOSIO named now, soon to be a different name, type technology chains, and FIO being one of them, which is the foundation for inter-wallet operability. The FIO protocol is that we're EOSIO-based network. And yeah, Sharif?
Yeah, I'm Sharif, eosDublin, also run infrastructure on a number of the EOSIO blockchains, and we've been involved in FIO from the start. And I guess just to talk a little bit about HeyFIO, the whole purpose of the FIO protocol is to make crypto easy and get it in the hands of normal people to make normal transactions, be able to request something. So ourselves, Ross, Rhett from EOS Amsterdam, and Joseph kind of came together and said, how can we make this super simple to get people started? So they don't have to download a wallet or have any crypto in order to get a handle and start looking and feeling and switching it.
Yeah.
And that's how we came with the idea of HeyFIO. Thanks to Ross, kind of took the product owner lead and led a lot of the development. But the whole purpose of it is give people a way to create a handle very quickly, pay with a credit card, and take their first steps into blockchain. So the idea for HeyFIO is to give us that platform now to build on, so that we can start to do things like growth hacking and affiliate programs and referrals, etc. The kind of driver coming in. So within FIO, you can have a handle and you can have a domain. And one of the key use cases that we've kind of been talking about from the start is, how could a school have their domain, and students within that could have a handle within that, and then for them to start to using. So we're not quite there being able to onboard those type of users just yet, but we do have the app now or the infrastructure in place to be able to do that. So that's kind of where we are in terms of beta, and why we're doing it.
Do you want to know where I am in terms of beta? Like, there's so many things going on right now that, like, for whatever reason, when I put out that tweet, I did a big tweet storm today, but when I put out that tweet, I hashtagged it Hello FIO instead of Hey FIO, because like the YouTube triangle is over the word, and I'm like, right. So yeah, beta on the show is definitely not as good as beta that these guys are building. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, it is Hey FIO. It's not Hello.
I was quite impressed. I did the Google search for HeyFIO today, and it brought up our beta site, and it brought up this YouTube. So this
really?
actual session. Yeah, so hey, that's pretty good. And
That's
that was
great.
on like a different PC. It wasn't even on my PC with my own profile or anything. So that was cool.
Cool.
So it's obviously got somewhere. It's got some kind of metadata that's been shared amongst the Google machine, which is great.
Nice. Well, I hope I didn't mess it up with my thing. But yeah, I think it's interesting because like FIO is one of these protocols that's running on EOSIO, but they're kind of outside of the fray, right? Like they're running on multiple, wallets, multiple, kind of blockchains, human readable type of things. Like you said, people can send requests for payments even. Like it's not just
and that's the benefit, right? And I know it can be pretty confusing. And I know Luke will probably be rolling his eyes at me if I don't get this perfectly right. But this is the benefit that I see with FIO. Anybody that's got anything to do with cryptocurrency has to deal with these crazy ass addresses. EOS and EOSIO got it a little bit better, where you can have like a sort of shorter address that doesn't look like a freaking serial number, hexadecimal thing that's that long. What the benefit of FIO is that regardless of what blockchain that you're using, what kind of cryptocurrency you are using, you can have a layer above that, which is actually your FIO handle. And that handle can send a request. So like if I want you to, and this is the real value, if I want you to send me 1/10 of a Bitcoin for, I sold you some golf clubs, right? I can actually send you a message inside of the app, for example, inside Edge Wallet, saying Jimmy D at HeyFIO, or Jimmy D at whatever other FIO crypto handle. Can you please send me 0.1 Bitcoin for these golf clubs? And that way, when you actually respond to that and say, yes, I approve that, inside of the wallet, it's going to send it to my account that I've got linked inside of that wallet to my Bitcoin account. So you don't have to know my Bitcoin freaking hexadecimal address. I don't need to know yours. I just need to know Jimmy at HeyFIO, and I send you a request. You don't even have to know Ross at HeyFIO. I would send it, but yeah. And you'll just send it straight back to me. So it obfuscates all of that complexity. And I know that sounds a little bit simplistic, but wow, man, how much crypto is lost with people sending it to the wrong addresses. You can send it to the wrong address, it's gone forever, man. Gone, how many times people are going to send something and they're counting, every single character and checking every single character. HeyFIO gets rid of all of that. And all it takes is for the wallet that you're using, like the wallet application, to be enabled for actually utilizing HeyFIO. And at the moment, it's Anchor and Edge Wallet that have got the ability to do that. And that's great, right? But what is HeyFIO? How does HeyFIO come into it? So HeyFIO helps you get that initial FIO crypto handle without having to have FIO tokens. And that's the little trick. Right. So how do you actually get the account if you don't go and procure FIO tokens to buy the account in the beginning to send tokens to? So so the whole idea behind HeyFIO is that we're going to make it as simple as possible. This isn't a power user platform, at least not at the moment. I wanted a power user platform, and everybody talked me back from the cliff. This platform is built for a new person to get a HeyFIO crypto handle. And you can come in, if you happen to have FIO tokens, you can purchase that crypto handle with the FIO tokens. But the real benefit is you can use a credit card. So if you want to buy a FIO crypto handle, it's $2. Boom, there you go.
Yeah,
you can do it by credit card. Yeah. And
one of the things that I really like about it is if something happens to the company that you're working for example, somebody else can kind of take that over, right? Like it doesn't necessarily have to die. It's like a payment based system. Does that make sense? Like if I'm working for GenerEOS and I have a HeyFIO, sorry, I have a GenerEOS handle, and GenerEOS for whatever decides that they're not going to supply the address anymore, like somebody else can pick it up and take it over, right? It's not like you're dead in the water, which again, like you kind of alluded to. I think it's sorry, go ahead.
So the FIO crypto handle is made up of two parts. You have the name and you have the domain. And that makes up the previously known as the address, but now it's known as the crypto handle, FIO crypto handle. And I'll talk about that when I take you through the demo of it. And the domains need to be renewed year on year, and there's a cost incursion for that. But at the HeyFIO platform offer the domain that you can just register your name to, no problem. And if HeyFIO didn't register, didn't pay the renewal for the domain, you as the user could do it as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So let's share that. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. I wanted to fix that tweet.
The hello HeyFIO tweet.
no, I like it's gone now. There's a HeyFIO one in its place.
No.
Yeah. So I do apologize.
Do you know that Sharif came up with the name?
Okay. I mean,
how did you come up with the name? Sharif?
Oh, I just wanted something to be a little bit friendlier than protocol. It needed to be something that you can hopefully say and people remember. Yeah. But maybe that's not as successful if people are saying hello FIO already. But
it's like hey Siri or hey Alexa.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's something simple. It's a 6-letter domain name. It's a .com. It seems to work. And when I told the guys about it, everybody nodded and off we went.
I mean, I love Luke Stokes. He's great, but whenever we have him on the channel, it's like you have to do a tweet thread just to get the proper way to say his name and his position and the blockchain all in one tweet, right? Like it doesn't fit in one thing because but I get what you mean, right? Like it's the operational manager of HeyFIO protocol and the division of whatever, right? Like, but I know what you mean, right? Like FIO is really easy to say, and I think that's like it could become a verb in itself. Like Google it. How am I going to pay you? I just HeyFIO it, right? It needs to be like that, right? Like we need things to be easier, and of course I'm making fun a little bit, but like it's good. I like it, and it reminds me of some interesting catchy phrases that people will use. So I actually want to share. I want to share the screen, and I want to have a look into what it looks like. It's really complicated. Brace yourselves, because this is why we need a tutorial. It's super complicated, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very, very complicated. It's almost impossible to understand. But like, here's the thing, right? This is flipping brilliant. Like I was part of the beta testers a little bit, and I did a little bit of stuff with it.
All right, so that's what you're doing. Sorry, you're setting me up there, because I was like, what? Bro, that's the opposite of what, we're doing. Complicated.
No, right? But it's great, right? Like it reminds me of it reminds me that like a lot of times when we get into blockchain, it is complicated, right? But like to come to a page like this that has a little sentence with 2 boxes that you have to like basically do. That's the way the blockchain needs to be for the masses to adopt it, right?
Yeah, that's what we are after, and it's going to get even nicer and simpler as we go forward. Like I said, like you would know, this is the beta. When I take you through the demo now, I'm going to take you through on staging. It's a little bit tweaked. And also staging, it's not going to cost anything. So I'll actually use the fake credit card and everything, and I'll show you how it works.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you can share your screen actually and do it.
Okay. All right. Let me do that.
That would be okay. So
come on, beta gods.
Like
demos, they always work.
Demo gods. That's it. Yeah. Don't share screen.
So what was it like? I while you set that up, I'll ask Sharif, right? Like it's interesting because I think a lot of people, especially in other blockchains, don't realize this, but there's a lot of block producers that work very closely with one another to create things, to build things, and like you guys worked with 2 other teams on this, so there were 4 teams that were dedicated to building this, and I'm just kind of curious, like what was the experience like? Like can you shout them out? Like is there one of them that pisses you off that's next out of the next round? Like what?
No, I mean it's a great experience, and we've worked with those teams on other projects too. We've all been around since the launch of the EOS mainnet. So, as soon as the first testnets were there, we were working together. We've all met up in person. So it's natural that, teams are collaborating and sharing and pooling resources as well. I mean, something like this doesn't get built. It costs money and effort and not just time in order to do it. So we've dedicated some of our FIO rewards directly towards this, and the other teams have done the same. And it's those type of initiatives that kind of move the needle for networks and for projects. But yeah, great experience with the guys who worked with them on many things and will on many other things.
So we actually enlisted the development support of Rewired.one. I don't know if you've ever crossed paths with them, Jimmy. They were born out of EOSphere Dev, and they've been doing quite a few projects in the EOSIO space over the last few years. Some of them mainly in the enterprise space. So this was a smaller engagement for them, but it was nice to get thoroughbred EOSIO developers working on these kind of projects for us. So they're the ones that built it. One of our biggest challenges from our perspective was we got everybody in different time zones, which is like, I'm in Perth, Sharif's in Dublin, Joseph's in Barcelona, and Rhett is, wherever he is usually, not always in Amsterdam. He's all
between Portugal and Amsterdam and wherever else.
Yeah. Okay. Are you seeing my share?
Nope.
Sorry,
you didn't add it, maybe. So yeah, I hit my experience, like I'm kind of joking around a little bit. My experience, like, Ross, we had a conversation, he invited me into the beta group, and it was awesome. Like, just being part of that, and like the sheer raw talent, the other block producers, the other like people who knew what was going on, like the amount of feedback that was coming in real-time basis to like actually focus on making this a really good platform, like a really easy one to use. I was pretty impressed, right? Like, it wasn't, I mean, if you ever get the chance to kind of join a beta tester group and it's like this, it's definitely a cool experience. You can see a lot of positive energy in there. There's like nobody, yelling at each other, like, out there on Twitter. Like, it's really like, it's really good, right? Like people, people building things, and that's why we're all here. So I don't see it.
All right. So it's telling me that I need to give you permission on my Mac. One moment, please.
No, oh, okay. Maybe you need to give this permission. You shouldn't need to give me permission. I don't think so.
It says Google Chrome will need to quit and then reopen. Can we do that? I'll come back in again. Is that right?
Yeah, that's fine. All right. And then there were two. So now you can tell the real story.
Yeah, the Ross guy is.
I mean, we thought he was gone. We thought he got them out of Europe, and then he made his way to Perth and he swam back over. No, it's good. So like, yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, like you noted, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how FIO progresses, right? And there's a lot of we're not really there yet. We're not really at that point where like people can do it, mass adopt it, crypto, or want to pay for things. But like, I'm excited about this because like you saw on the screen that we shared before, there we go. There's two things that you have to figure out. You have to figure out your name and your domain name. And that's my biggest problem, is I never know what I want to be called, right? I know what other people call me, but I don't know what I want to be called. So yeah, HeyFIO, get your FIO address right here. So you come in here and you have your username and your.
All right, let me take you on a little. I'll take you on a little walkthrough, and you can ask questions that we're going through. So I'm on the staging site because this is the tweet version. But when you go to beta.heyfio, is the current live site where you would go to. It's a little bit different. We're just trying to make it nicer and easier and more juicy. You know what I mean? Like it's popping a little bit better. Also, we realized that we're a little bit behind the 8 ball here. It's no longer called a FIO address. It's called a FIO crypto handle. And we're going to be amending that so as to not confuse everybody. So yeah, it's going to be fine. Just
now I'm assuming the reason that change went through is because it's compatible with a variety of different blockchains, right?
I think it's because they wanted something that wasn't confused between like your Bitcoin wallet address. Address is like this name it's like where you live, it's your wallet, it's an account name. You know, who knows what it is? But a crypto handle is, yeah, as you said, across multiple different things, and it's a handle. It is basically a handle. It's a name and a domain name, right? So yeah.
And the fact that you can choose your own is really cool too, right? Because you could have like
cool.
your name behind a shop, or your name behind a block producer, or your name behind whatever you want, right?
All right. So this is gonna the update's gonna get pushed. I think DJ, the project manager, said it will go in tomorrow, so that'll be cool. Anyway, so this is you'll be going to beta at HeyFIO, but the demo right now is in our staging environment. All right. So you'll get presented with this page. You would then want to register because you won't have an account yet. So you would go and create an account with an email and a password. This email address is also used for password recovery. You'll notice that you can't register and you can't click the I agree to the HeyFIO terms and conditions until you actually click the HeyFIO terms and conditions.
And read every word.
Read every single word. I'll tell you, hey, Jimmy, this slowed us down with our beta launch because of what we're dealing with. Because it's a custodial wallet, even though it's on the chain, the actual site itself has got everything encrypted in the database, right? But it does have personal information, and we just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that. So that's why the terms and conditions are there. And also, we're also a little bit nervous about purchasing on behalf of people an account. So all that kind of stuff is covered inside the terms of service. You have to click on I agree to the HeyFIO's terms and conditions and then register. And that's fine, and it'll just take you in. So I'm going to sign in with my account because I got a few things already going on. So you can see that everything is two-factor authentication set up in my account, and I'll show you where you do that, but let me just get it off my phone.
Now, what happens if,
so
God forbid, but what happens if somebody forgets their 2FA? Being it's this platform, is there a way to you're done? No. So back that up, seriously back it up, and write it down and put it somewhere.
But that's the same as anywhere, right? You lose your 2FA. You can recover your password, no problem, but not your 2FA. That's your own responsibility. I would expect that you had multiple phones and devices and apps all synced in. Like I use Authy. It's a great application. It works quite well. All right. So now I've logged in, and we can go through we'll start from the top. So first of all, my FIO platform, you can look at your account. That's my account. You can see I've got two-factor authentication enabled, and I can disable it. And then I have got my actual blockchain accounts. So what is a little bit obfuscated for normal users, but it's something to be aware of, is that on the actual chain itself, you have an identity, which is your actual FIO account. It's an account it looks like this. You don't choose them; they get automatically made to you. But these are the ones that have got the private and public keys associated to it. So you can see in these accounts like Ross at HeyFIO inside of the staging environment on the testnet, you can click on it, you can see the public key, and you can show your private key, and you can copy your private key, which is quite important because the whole idea behind the HeyFIO platform is for you to get a crypto handle, a simple way for you to get a crypto handle. However, it isn't this cool, slick mobile application like Edge Wallet that's going to allow you to request payments. If you ever wanted to use one of those cool, slick wallets, you could show your private key, copy it out, and import it into your Edge Wallet. So quite important to understand that this platform is purely for you to get onboarded onto FIO, to manage your domains, and to manage your actual crypto handles. It's not an exchange. It's not a place for you to purchase cryptocurrency. It's a place for you to buy a domain and get a crypto handle / identity on the FIO network. Okay. So
so just to ask one more time, like for people who might not be familiar with this, previous to this, how would you have had to go about getting a domain and a username?
You could do it on the chain itself.
Yeah.
Or you could go to Edge Wallets and buy one, but it'll be at Edge. It won't be your own one. You can't get your own. Yeah, it would be one that's Ross at Edge.
And so that was really annoying for me actually back in the day. Like, so this is why I was excited that you guys built this, because like I didn't really want. I mean, we do a show called The Edge of Obscurity on another channel, but I didn't really want my name to be attached to that, right? like you know, like Jimmy at Edge. Like that sounds a little bit.
Okay, so on the landing page you get here, you want to get a new address, Jimmy at HeyFIO. Jimmy is available to register. It's going to cost you 19.971 FIO, which basically comes out to $2, right? And you can see that by default it shows HeyFIO. We are going to add some other ones. Pookie is a domain that I own inside of this profile, and that's the reason why it pops up there. I was just doing one for fun. But the whole concept behind these domains is when you own them, you can make them public and private, so people can actually choose them. So even though it might not come in a drop-down box, it might still actually be available. So I want to buy Jimmy at HeyFIO because those are the ones that are completely available at the moment. You go into buy address. You can either pay with FIO or you can pay with a card, and that's the cost. But let me just we'll buy a domain and everything now. But let's just keep going through. So that would just be a pure crypto handle that you wanted to get. Once you've purchased that, you're able to actually go and see these addresses. And once again, I know it says addresses, but this is going to be changed to my crypto handle. And you can see that inside of my profile on HeyFIO, I own EOSphere at FIO testnet. This is our actual EOSphere's testnet handle, and I own Ross at HeyFIO. Now, it says renew at the moment, but these days there was a change where you actually don't have to renew your address / crypto handle anymore. So you don't have to worry about it on a crypto handle, but typically you would have to renew it every year. As you can see, the expiry is like 90 odd years in the future, so there's nothing to worry about in that at the moment, right?
Okay, so the FIO
addresses, the handles you do not have to renew anymore. However, you do have to renew the domains.
Okay.
So you can see that this profile that I've got, I only own Pookie inside of the HeyFIO. I just made that for fun, and you can see that it expires on July the 16th, 2022, and you can renew it there, or you can transfer the domain to somebody else, or you can make it public. So you can see, I remember when I went on the front page and I said, HeyFIO is there, but when you own a domain, you can choose if someone can actually register their account or register their handle to that domain. You can make it public or private. So I'm going to make it public now. And now it's public. You can see it's make private. If I go here to buy address, I can actually make one at Pookie and it'll be available. If it was set at private, I hope I'm not going too fast here. If I make it private, and there's a cost associated with the transaction, so it's like 2 cents, 3 cents. And now that it's private, if I go to my address, Jimmy at Pookie, it allows me because I own the domain. If you went in to try and do it, it wouldn't let you.
I like this because, I mean, you can keep it private for yourself, or like, I work for the Uplifters, or I work for GenerEOS. I can go in, I can create a name under me, and I can open it up for my whole company. And when they come in to register, they can.
I always wondered about what is the challenge with me like opening up EOSphere? Like, because we've got an EOSphere domain. And all of the team members have got at EOSphere. I suppose it means that it's our identity. So you know that you're actually interacting with an EOSphere team member because it's not public. It's like you own that domain, like an email address, like your handle. You keep it real. Nobody else can take that. The domains are actually NFTs, so they actually belong to you, which is cool.
Right. I think that's And I mean, we've got a lot of rebels in the space that think that like this should be decentralized and we should be able to do whatever we want. But like, I mean, if we want this to really change the world, we have to be responsible for, you know, a lot of these things. Like a lot of the businesses aren't going to come in here unless it's usable for them, right? Like, and I think there's going to be some really interesting things that happen across EOSIO in general, but I think we might have an advantage over a lot of other blockchains because of this, right?
So to kind of summarize it up, you can buy an address with an open domain, or you can buy a domain and make your own address. So let's make one. Uplift, huh? Is it Uplift World?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
So Uplift World, you can see that domain is available to register, and it's going to cost you $40 US.
Okay, so personal handles are 2 and domains are 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this fiat price will change depending on the actual open market price. This actually goes out and queries what the price is. So we're going to actually buy this domain on its own, and we are going to pay with card.
Okay.
And the card number is the meaning of life card number. 42, 42, 42, 42, 42. Doesn't care what you put in there as long as it's a date afterwards. This is just like a fake credit card. You need a zip that's a certain length, and then you just say pay now. And we have now purchased that domain, hopefully. Maybe it takes a moment.
And so again, these ones have to be updated yearly, right? Like you have to pay these out every year. Which makes sense, right? Like, so what happens after a year if somebody doesn't pay it? Does it die? Can somebody else go in there and create it, or is it?
Sharif, what happens?
I think it's just frozen. I don't believe anybody else can come in and squat on it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know that's not a question for you guys. It's more a FIO. It was just a curiosity that I had, really. It'll become like football players. You have to outbid each other.
or like EOS names, EOS name auctions.
Right, yeah.
For some reason, it didn't go through.
It looks like
it might just be because it's our fake freaking card gateway.
Maybe your card's been blocked. They think it's too many transactions.
I promise you this works. Oh, wait, there you go. That worked, right? Buy domain successful. The demo gods are out, friends.
It might just take a while to re-kick it.
Yeah, that is strange. Hey. So we can actually go and view that account on the chain. So you can see if you go to my accounts, remember I said this is your actual blockchain account. And you can see, yeah, that's very strange. Didn't like it. Sorry, friends, but if you did this on the actual public one, it actually works. It might just be to do with our card. So let me just buy it with cryptocurrency. We'll just pay with FIO, and you can choose which account you want to pay it with. So we'll just pay with Pookie can pay for the domain. Let's see if that works. There we go. All right. So sorry, it's probably just to do with our fake credit card on the back end here. And you can see now we own Uplift World. It's set to private, and its expiry is the 4th of February 2023. Cool. And that's pretty much it. It's just the whole idea is get your crypto handle. If you feel so inclined, buy a domain for your company, for your friends, for your group, so people know who to trust, and it'll get you hooked up on the FIO protocol network.
Yeah, and I think everyone should just go do this. Like we were having this conversation before we went live, and I said it was was a little bit confusing for me, right? Like I had to go and I had to get Edge Wallet, and then I had to do all this other stuff, and I had to download it to my phone, and it was just a bit of a pain. This is so much easier. I can just go in there, and like one of the big problems that I had early on with EOS when we were creating accounts that were like smart when we first got into EOS was that you had to like go here, you had to buy EOS from exchange, you had to do this, you had to send it here, then it had to be rerouted here. Like I like the fact that there's a credit card integration into that. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
And that's what we need.
And it totally works. Yeah. It gets you in quick. But if like I mentioned to you, if you want the day-to-day utility, you will need one of the cool mobile wallets. That's where the real value is, because that same wallet is the one that's got your USDT, your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, your EOS, your Solana, whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter what cryptocurrency that you've got. If you load that appropriate key or identity into your mobile wallet, you can use FIO as the request mechanism, because you bind those inside of your Edge wallet. You actually bind that through to your FIO crypto handle, and that way it's just simple.
And it was quite nice that back in the early EOSIO days, like, I don't know if it's a security risk or not, but like, it was quite nice because you had an EOS account, and then Telos came out, and then Wax came out, and well, not Wax actually, Telos came out, and you know, a lot of these other blockchains came out, and you could actually have the same name, you know, if those accounts were created for you when the other ones were launched, right? And so that was nice, but this extends it to like cryptos across the board that aren't even connected. There's not even a bridge that connects half of these, right? Like, and so that's really nice, right? Like to be able to say, like, because that was always the nice thing about EOS or EOSIO is it's human readable, but to be able to just walk into a shop and somebody say like, oh, okay, like where do I send the funds? It's like, well, I mean, you know, Sunshine Alley, that's the shop name here. That's right. And it's easy, right? It makes a lot more sense. So,
well, I like it because it removes any kind of potential missed button pushing and getting funds lost. It just makes it so simple. It's more secure than email because it can't be spoofed. It's on the chain. It's a proper request for an NFT, which is your FIO identity.
Right.
So there's only one of those. There's only one, Ross at Uplift World. That is me. If that request comes from Ross at Uplift World, it can't be anybody else. You know, it's not like me. It's not like me spoofing your email address and saying send the money for the renovations on your house to this bank account. Oops. Well, that wasn't me. It was a scammer. It was someone else. It makes it so easy. It's something that I never ever thought about until the last year or so. The whole concept of requesting a payment.
Right.
It's solid because you can't make a mistake.
And you can do that standing at the counter or shopping online. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, FIO being EOSIO basis, obviously 2 blocks a second, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the request could be a business invoice, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm having I'm having a nightmare at the moment trying to pay some developers in Pakistan. It's just impossible. So
and that's
that's
a really good point too. Like even some of the companies that I work for, right? Like I have to go online, I have to create an invoice, I have to send it to them, they have to send it to the account, and the account has to go to the exchange, buy the crypto, send it back. With FIO, all you have to do is create that payment request, and it goes directly to them, directly to their wallet, and they press a button and send you the fees, right? Like it's it. It's really that simple. I want to see it take off, honestly. Like I think the value that this brings is awesome. And I just think that the value that you guys are bringing with this HeyFIO platform to be able to have people easily create their own domains is going to be huge. Like that's what it needs, right? Like,
So I don't know. Let's sum it up. Go to the HeyFIO platform, easily purchase an address. If anybody has got a public address, you can put a public domain. You can put their domain in and purchase the address for $2 off there. Or if you want to actually own a domain, you can purchase a domain as well. And that way you can have your closed group or business identity. And our platform will enable you to make it public or private. And it'll enable you to renew your domain year on year. And going forward, we're going to be adding more features. You know, it was definitely all about bridging that gap, just getting people with their cool domains and getting them on board.
And so, yeah, if people want to learn more, I guess they can definitely go over and check out Ross's Medium page. The link is below in the descriptor, I believe. Where else can people learn more about this? Is there any other places?
There is a support group. Oh, that sounds terrible when you say that. There's a support channel where people talk about all kinds of cool stuff, not about any challenges they got in their lives. But if you got a challenge with the platform, if something doesn't work as expected, or you've got some ideas for some feature additions, we really want to hear about it.
Maybe we need to bother Luke. We're like, okay, well, you guys have got the payment request down. Now we need to get some support requests in there. So, right on the chain, it would be great. We totally probably need that.
No,
yeah,
no.
So, yeah, so definitely, go try it out and check it out. And I would imagine you can pop into any of the Telegram channels for the 4 projects involved: EOSphere, eosDublin, EOS Barcelona, and EOS Amsterdam. And you can ask, and they can direct you to the proper places and locations. And I mean, obviously, guys, if you guys have any updates or anything new that comes out, or feel free to drop in, especially to the GenerEOS Telegram.
Thanks, Jimmy.
And drop it. We want to support you guys. I think you guys are doing amazing things, and we've always been really big fans of what you guys have been doing across all the chains. And I think, like you said, these 4 teams have been there since the beginning. We've been there since the beginning, and EOS was rough for a while, and a lot of what some of the developers had to do, some of the block producers had to do, was go and carve out their niche on these other chains. And now we're seeing that some of the things that they've been building over there are probably going to really change the world. They're going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So just thank you for your service on all that, actually.
Yeah. One thing, you should probably go to the FIO website, because they've got an excellent video there explaining the concept of it. So it's fioprotocol.io.
Yeah, sorry, I should have put that. I think I put that in the descriptor too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's a really, really good video there that just explains the concept of FIO, and there's some nice little diagrams and affiliates that are building wallets that actually support it. So go check that out. fioprotocol.io.
Yeah, sure. And I'll put I think it's in the descriptor below the video. I'm in Japan. The home appliances talk. That's the thing. Apparently the bath is ready. So it tells me in the kitchen that the bath is ready. It's great. Thank you so much. And please come back, like I said, anytime. We're always happy to host you guys here and find out what you guys are up to with this and with any of the other things that you're doing across the space. So
super.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
All right.
Go and enjoy your bath, and Ross, have a beer.
Well, I already had one, but yeah. And yeah, tune in next week. I guess I think we're going to be doing another kind of spotlight. We've got some exciting stuff coming up, and I guess also the Pomelo grants season 2. Well, season 1. Of 2022 got announced today, and apparently they're 77% higher than what they were the last round. So we'll actually be kicking off the Pomelo Pitch Deck show on this channel. So if you're out there and you're listening and you've got a Pomelo grant coming up in this next round, and you want to come on and you want to give us your 15-minute pitch on why we should donate these funds for the crowdfunding type of thing, get in touch with Jimmy or pop into the GenerEOS Telegram, and we'll try to feature on here. But yeah, thanks all for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.